Hi, welcome to another Entitled Parents episode of StorytimeGuru. If you like my content, please support my channel by clicking like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. In this episode, we will read 4 of the best Entitled Parents stories. Our first story is titled, Entitled Dad Ditches Kid to Gamble. Our second story is titled, Entitled Mom Gets Mad I Buy Condoms. Our third story is titled, You Made an Accident I Am Calling the Police. And our last story titled is, Between Them, My Parents Ruined 3 Batches of Chili. Hope you like it.
Posted by Discombobulated. Cut 68. Ed ditches kid to gamble. I was working in a place where you place bets. It was right next to a bank. Great for us, not so much for gamblers. Entitled Dad, Ed, comes in with toddler daughter regularly. Ed will spend hours gambling while leaving toddler to make a mess. Pull out anything she can find and then give her whatever sugary treat from the vending machine, and then proceeding to leave the rubbish anywhere but the bin. My boss would give out lollipops to the kids who came in. Normally the kids coming in aren't left there all day. Just when a parent is dropping off some bets or collecting quickly, this kid would shove her hand in the jar and take out a handful. I would hate to think of the future dentist bills. Anyway, my boss got sick of Ed leaving this kid to run around and for us to clean up. It's not a good look for business. So he said to Ed, if you can't watch your kid here, then you can't keep bringing her in. Besides, this isn't a place for kids. So the next day when Ed comes in, there's no kid. Hey, he actually listened. He leaves and comes back quickly, maybe twice in a few hours. Now enter a worker from the bank next door. She comes up to us behind the counter and asks if anyone is missing a kid. There's been one in the play area of the bank all day. It's a little gated play area with a pretty great setup. We, of course, say no. No one has mentioned a kid today. She says they'll have to call the police because no one in the bank knows whose it is. Ed hears this and leaves. Well, I'm sure you've worked it out. Ed left his kid, a toddler, in the bank alone, so he could gamble next door. Pretty sure the bank manager told him not to come back, but IDK if the cops were called. I didn't see him as often as I cut back hours, but he ended up losing custody pretty soon after that when he took his losses out on his wife. M gets mad I buy condoms? Posted by Rickrollo24. So I needed to pick up some condoms, and I was nervous about this because it was my first time doing this. I ask an associate where the condoms are at, like already I'm super nervous. So I'm looking at them because let's face it, I never bought them before. I was nervous about that evening. This store was frequented by my classmates and teachers, and the women I was meeting was going to meet me at the store, so sorta kinda on edge. Anyways, I feel a finger tap my shoulder. It was these women who were the typical soccer mom type, and her kid was standing there. Put that back, go somewhere else, she said. Why? I nervously replied. This is a family store, there are children here. She is doing that loud whisper. I kinda need these, I told her. Put those back. Besides, you're like what, 16? God, you teenagers. Now put that back or I'm going to grab a manager. And tell him a minor is buying condoms. I was 25. I didn't want to cause a scene, so I put them back. She then menaced me as I got other things. But I wanted to stay low-key because I was worried and time was running out. So I did the insane, comical, rational thing. I bought whipped cream and cherries. Her fucking face went red when I got the cherries because I stared her down. Yeah, going to harass me and shame me, well damn you. So I get back free to finally get what I need. And to make this more fun, I bought a cock ring too. BTW Safeway/Kroger brand stores sell cock rings as the till for you and are the only sex toy they sell. Anyways, I'm at the checkout. Clerk, no dams. Lady who was harassing me was next to me. Can I see ID? Show the clerk I am what my age is. Okay, thanks. I walk and wait. Didn't get lucky that night, but I made a bomb-ass cherry Coke cake. Edit. I was 25 when this happened.
You made an accident? I am calling the police. Posted by Billy Burner Mom. This was a long time ago, so my memory might be a bit vague in this story, so bear with me. I live in Las Vegas all my life, and my dad decided to go to the Fright Dome for Halloween near Circus. We found a roller coaster with a long line of people. We walked up to the line and my dad found a new friend, and they started talking. Mind you, I am like 5 and have never interacted with a cop/security guard before. When the line slowly clears up, and we are almost to the front, so my dad does this thing where when he laughs he goes back a little bit. His new friend said something funny apparently, and my dad went back and bumped into a lady. Here is our entitled mom. Dude, watch where you're going. My dad says sorry. Dad, sorry, it was an accident. I don't care. I am calling security. Dad, for what? For bumping into you and saying sorry? Yes. Calling security. We wait here for like 3 minutes when the flags down security, and he comes over. SG, what is the problem here? Dad, I accident. He gets cut off. This man bumped into me on purpose and didn't say sorry. Dad, this isn't true. I said sorry to her before she said anything to me. Liar. Right now am I bawling my eyes out the sight of SG because like I said earlier, I have never had a confrontation with a security guard, and I am like 5 right now. I will spare you the rest of the 5 minutes of me crying and the getting more pee off each second, and we eventually get pulled off to the side by the railing. We are on the 2nd floor because that's where the roller coaster was. We get told by the SG that we need to leave because the had proof apparently, they hadn't even checked security footage. Then I am confronted by the officer. SG, why are you crying? INN never been AA arrested before. At this time I didn't know what security was or being arrested meant, all I thought was cop? Me get arrest? SG, you aren't getting arrested, you are just getting kicked out of here because your dad assaulted a woman. Dad, I didn't assault anyone. I said sorry after, and the most amount of harm I might have done was making her pores look the other way. The SG isn't having it because he thinks the is right in this situation. By the way, the kid is just sitting in the line with her mother with her head down trying to not be seen by me because we were about the same age. She looked like 5 to 6. We eventually get thrown out and me and my dad are lingering out front before another security guard that obviously saw the whole thing told us to leave the property entirely, or we would get trespassed. We left and that was the end. I cried like H that day and I still get slightly angry when I look back, but then again it's just funny how stupid people are to hire stupid people because they're desperate. Thank you for reading. Between them, my parents ruined 3 batches of chili, posted by WarLady22. Yesterday was a coworker's birthday, and they asked me if I could make them some of the turkey chili like the kind I made for our 4th of July office party, and they reminded me not to add carrots because they were allergic to it, and not to make it too spicy. So, I bought enough for 2 batches, serves 12 each, 1 batch for my coworker, and the other for my family. For the first 2 batches, I tried using the slow cooker, but for the second 2, I had to use the stove to make it quicker. First batch, I walked out of the kitchen to let it cook. I came back when it was about done to find my parents dipping their spoons into the chili, as in, they dunked their spoons into it, ate off said spoons, and used the same spoons to get another spoonful. Ew, germs. Well, I can forgive them for that. So, second batch, my mom asked if I was going to put carrots into it, and I told her no. In fact, I told her twice, no carrots. She was chopping up vegetables while I went to the bathroom. I come out, I check the chili, she added the veggies, with carrots. They were cut so small, I couldn't scoop them out. I was upset, and calmly asked my mom why she added carrots. She answers, because the recipe called for carrots. I reminded her that my coworker was allergic. I told her twice in fact. She tilts her head one way a bit, half closed her eyes, straight-lined mouth, and a light shrug. I didn't hear you say it. I fucking hate IT when she says that. When she does that stance, and say it like she said it, I know for a fact she heard me. She just brushes what I said right off, and there was no way to argue with her without it turning into a yelling match. Okay, well, I had a little over 2 hours before work at this point, so I made a run to the store to get what I needed to make 2 more batches. I cook it all on the stove, rather than the slow cooker. Third batch, it is a tradition on my dad's side of the family, that every 30 years, a member is allowed to learn a secret recipe for some kind of Mexican mystery sauce. It's a sweet and spicy concoction that is so damn good, but it really brings out the heat if you put it in with any other hot items. One of my dad's great nephews got to learn it, and he sent dad a container of it. My dad thought the chili was too bland, and told me that maybe my coworker would like it to be a bit hotter. I told my dad that it was hot enough, and that I know how to make it. Dad gets the sauce anyways, and puts it into the chili while I walked off to get ready for work. I come back to test it, and it was disgusting. It was far too sweet, and did not blend well with what was in there, and it was so damn hot, tears were coming down my face. Dad kept insisting that it was perfectly fine, even though he could barely eat a spoonful. I dumped it into a container and gave it to him. Fourth batch, at this point in time, I had less than an hour to cook it, so, I cooked everything into separate pots, and tried to mix it together. I forbade my parents from coming into the kitchen while I worked. I told them both that neither one is allowed anywhere near the kitchen until I was out the door. They were upset with me over this. They just wanted to help, but I didn't trust either of them. I managed to get it into a container, and out the door into my car. I came back in and rushed to get ready, spraying down the inside of the pots and pans I used with soap, and told my folks to leave them, so I can clean them when I get home. My mom was furious, and told me that I should clean up that mess before work. I pointed out that because of her and dad, I didn't have time to do it. Came home from work to find that my dad cleaned the dishes, and mom tried to make me feel so guilty for that. I pointed out to her that between the two of them, they ruined 3 batches. My dad did apologize, but my mom was stuck on stubborn, and refuses to admit that she was wrong. Well, at least the 4th batch turned out alright. My coworker ate some there and really liked it. In the end, it was worth the fuss to get a smile out of them. The kid ended up eating half of the batch in one sitting. If you like my content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and tap the notification bell.